Okay, today we talk about the 5 hypotheses of Krashen theory of second language acquisition. Krashen theory of second language acquisition consists of 5 main hypotheses: the acquisition learning hypothesis, the input hypothesis, the monitor hypothesis, the effective filter hypothesis, and the natural order hypothesis. The acquisition learning hypothesis. According to Krashen, there are 2 independent systems of foreign language performers: the acquired system and the learned system. Following to Krashen, we acquire because we don't need to study the language, but understand the message the teacher or the speaker is conveying. The input hypothesis goes hand in hand with the idea of acquisition and not learning. According to this hypothesis, the learner improves and progresses along the natural order when he or she receives second language input that is one step beyond his current stage of the linguistic competence. For example, if a learner is at stage A1, the acquisition takes place when the material exposed, which is called comprehensible input, is at A1 level, and we are not using a C1 level, for example, which is too difficult. Here's a short video where Stephen Krashen is explaining it.
We all acquire language the same, and rather than just talk about it, I'd like to show you. I'd like to take just a couple of minutes and give you some sample language lessons. I'll use a language that I'm sure you've heard before and maybe some of you speak, and you can tell me which of these 2 very brief lessons you like better. Here's lesson number 1. Wir werden jetzt anfangen, Deutsch zu lernen. Und ich möchte im Voraus sagen, dass nach meiner Meinung Deutsch ist eine sehr schöne Sprache. Und ich hoffe, dass Sie alle sehr viel Erfolg mit Deutsch haben werden. What do you think? Good lesson so far? Do you think if I kept talking to you like that, you'd pick up German? Not very likely. How about if I repeated it? Would that help? Probably not. How about if I said it louder? Would that help? Probably not. How about if I said it and you repeated it back? Again, I don't think that would help. How about if I wrote it out for you and you could see it on your television screen? That wouldn't help either. How about if I wrote it out for you and you copied it down? How about if I wrote it out for you and deleted every 5th word and you tried to guess what the word is? The truth is that none of these things help. None of these things mean anything, and I hope you can see that now. Here's lesson number 2. And for this, you have to watch me carefully. Das ist meine Hand. Verstehen Sie das? Hand? Everyone say, ja, I can hear you, even though it's a TV audience. Good. Kopf. Das ist mein Kopf. Verstehen Sie Kopf? Ja? Gut. Kopf. And here I'll draw a picture now. Kopf. Ist gut, ja? Schön. Kopf. Das ist Mr. Spock, ja? Mr. Spock hat 2 Ohren. Ohren. Verstehen Sie Ohren? Er hat 2 Ohren. Okay, Mr. Spock. Ja? Ach, nein. Entschuldigung. Okay. Augen. Verstehen Sie Augen? Augen. Wie viele Augen? 1, 2, 3 Augen. 3 Augen. Ist das richtig? 3 Augen? Nein. Wir haben nur 2 Augen. Mund. Verstehen Sie Mund? Und hier ist eine Zigarette, ja? Nein. Zigaretten sind nicht gut. If you understood lesson number 2, not every word, but more or less, I did everything necessary to teach you German. And now I'm going to share with you the most important thing I have learned about language. Probably the best kept secret in the profession. We acquire language in one way and only one way, when we understand messages. We call this comprehensible input. We acquire language when we understand what people tell us, not how they say it, but what they say, or when we understand what we read.
Then we have the monitor hypothesis. The monitor hypothesis explains the relationship between acquisition and learning. The monitoring function is the practical result of the learned grammar. According to Krashen, we use a monitor when we try to speak, for example, but we take time because we are thinking about the tense or some particular structure we need to use. The monitor acts in planning, editing, and correcting functions. Then we have the affective filter hypothesis, where Stephen Krashen embodies the point of view that a number of affective variables play an important role in second language acquisition. This variable includes motivation, self-confidence, anxiety, and personality traits. If we have a strong motivation or affective relationship, it will be easier for us to learn our target language. Last but not least, Krashen developed the natural order hypothesis, which is based on different papers. The natural order hypothesis suggested that the acquisition of grammatical structure follows a natural order which is predictable. This natural order does not depend on our native language. One problem is that the natural order hypothesis fails to take into account the influence of the first language on the acquisition of the second one. In fact, some studies suggest that second language learners acquire a second language in a different orders depending on their native language. Okay, that's all for today. If you like it, hit the like button and share. Bye!